Welcome to Lovecars and welcome to Saudi Arabia. We're here, of course, for the Dakar Rally, an event that started back in 1978. It used to be called the Paris-Dakar because it went from Paris in France to Dakar in Senegal. But then in 2008 it was cancelled. Big security issues in Africa. 2009 it went to South America for 10 years, but since 2020 it's been here in Saudi Arabia. We're here with Audi UK to check out the RSQ e-tron, probably the most technologically advanced race car ever built. But it hasn't really been their year. We're here on the final day, the final stage. It's all been about Nasser Al-Attiyah from Qatar in the Toyota. It's really his race to lose now. I don't think anyone's going to get close. Although Sébastien Loeb, after his second day of 3 punctures, throwing his arms up in the air saying, "My race is finished," he's won the last 6 stages in a row, and he may even win today's as well. He's got to be one of the best drivers of all time, surely. But with this race, probably more than any other, you definitely need a lot of luck as well.
And talking of luck, it turns out we weren't just there to watch. Audi had arranged for us to actually have a go at driving one of their desert spec machines.
However, we're in a Jeep with Hamid, our host with the most, showing us your beautiful country. But it's a very wet country with all this rain. Where's the sunshine, Hamid?
I think leave to Europe and to come back again.
Hamid and his mates are from the local Jeep Owners Club, and they kindly agreed to give us a lift to Audi's desert camp.
So this Jeep is a 6-cylinder, 3.6 litre, about 270 horsepower, and your friend in front has a V8.
Yeah.
V8 with 200 more horses. But you like this because it's a very nice colour.
Yes.
And you told me it's cheaper with gasoline, but Saudi Arabia, you don't need to worry about this. How much you pay for a litre?
1 litre, 270.
So about 30p.
Yes.
And this is what we come for. Audi's RSQ e-tron. One of the most radical racing cars ever made. A dune-bashing, sand-scorching desert warrior. Audi's the first car manufacturer to use an electric drivetrain to compete against conventionally powered competitors at the Dakar Rally. It's powered by e-motors from Audi's Formula E car, but there aren't any charging stations in the desert, so the high-voltage battery is charged as it drives along by a highly efficient petrol engine from Audi's R8 DTM car. But what's it like to drive a desert-spec off-road Audi in Arabia? I was about to find out.
So okay, this of course isn't the official Audi Dakar car, but it is an Audi. We're in Saudi, it is the Dakar, so a bit of creative license there. But it's actually a standard Q5. I say standard, it's got a roll cage, it's got these Recaro seats, it's got a harness. It's been jacked up a little bit, but the biggest difference is the wheels and tyres, and that's what enables it really to be able to go over this soft sand, which is quite some experience. You can't imagine what it must be like for these guys doing 200, 300, 400 miles every single day across terrain like this, and I know they won't be going as slow as this on any of it. This is amazing, look. So they're literally right next to me now. They've got the Dakar race, and I'm 100 meters away from them having not quite a burn-up or a race, but it's phenomenal to see these cars going past. And there is a helicopter as well, but I don't think he's getting me. I think he's more focused on the race. For anyone that watches any of our channels over the years, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of off-roading, but I've learned a few things from these guys, and the key is to keep the wheels going, keep the momentum going at all times, especially when you're on relatively soft sand. Here we go, give it the beans, flick of the wheel, come over the crest of the hill. And the good thing about this car, it's got lots of torque, which when you're driving a car off-road or on sand, it's a really good thing. Torque and power is your friend when you're on soft sand. You really push it quite hard.
So that's a little taste of what it's like on the Dakar, but it's nothing compared to the real deal, which sees over 1,000 racers blast across 8,549 kilometres of unforgiving desert, dunes and dusty trails. They race for 2 weeks straight in an all manner of machines. In fact, there are 5 categories of vehicles: motorbikes, quads, cars, lightweight vehicles, and of course the mighty racing trucks. It's probably the most epic race in the world, an arduous, emotional feat of endurance. So how do they do it? Thankfully, Audi has laid on a crack team of Dakar veterans to show us the ropes, including, most importantly, how to find your way through the desert. And to make sure we were all paying attention, I've arranged a little after-school exam with our good friend, Joe Achilles.
So we just had a nice little overview as to what to expect from your road book and your navigation when you're doing the race. What can you tell me? What have you learned? Did you pay attention?
A little bit, yeah. It's a bit like colouring. There's lots of colours going on and numbers.
You didn't really listen, did you?
I tried to, but I got a bit lost.
Most of the cars have electronic GPS now, so they can get to their waypoints and it automatically logs the waypoints. But if you haven't, you need to follow this. Imagine following this in the desert
Whilst you're
driving. So
taking around through the dunes. Yeah.
So the co-drivers definitely earn their money, but even more so, the motorbike riders, they can't have the electronic GPS. So
Right.
they have to have this. They roll it up and they just pull it out each stage, and well, not each stage, each part of the stage.
Wow. You could also use that for...
It's a clean channel.
Oh.
We'll cut it there.
Okay.
But you could use it
You could use it for that
if you
as
need
well.
to as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. There you go.
You're always thinking ahead. I like
I know
that.
it all.
This really is one of the toughest environments on Earth, and not the sort of place you'd really want to break down. With that in mind, it was time for a desert survival lesson with one of YouTube's most seasoned adventurers.
Pedro,
Hello, mate.
we're in the middle of nowhere.
Miles from anywhere. It's dangerous out here, you know.
Rumours were you were in the French Foreign Legion once upon a time, back in the day.
Yeah, I can find water sources out there. No worries at all.
Well, that's good, because the reason I wanted to talk to you was about your survival skills, because you've come very well equipped, courtesy of Audi UK.
Yeah, I mean, not only do we get these very flash lanyards,
You're a sucker for a good lanyard.
I do like a lanyard, but these little snoods are great to stop it chafing your neck.
Oh, nice.
But when the sandstorm comes, you can kind of protect yourself.
Very good.
And then
What else have we got?
Some very, very important. So in here, just in case you need a meal when you're out in the desert, you've got a multi-tool with a spoon and a fork and a bottle opener, just in case there's any nice bottles of wine and a knife.
You'll be lucky here.
Just need to remember not to have that in my hand luggage when I get on the plane.
Okay, and next up, what else have we got?
When it gets dark,
A head torch.
a head torch.
Very
This, look,
good.
Very cool.
They
So
think of everything.
They do.
Audi UK think of
I
everything.
mean, it's literally, it's a life and death matter. I mean, we're miles from anywhere, so it could turn on a knife edge.
Well, on that note, I'll leave you to start digging for some water. I'm going to go for a cup of coffee in a hospitality tent.
All right, mate.
Meanwhile, in the heat of the battle, 2 weeks of intense racing had finally come to an end. Nasser Al-Attiyah captured his second straight Dakar victory in dominant fashion, moving into second place in the event's all-time winners list. Kevin Benavides won the final stage to top the bike category by just 43 seconds, an incredibly slim margin of victory after over 44 hours of riding. Alexandre Giroud won the quads for Yamaha Racing with over 56 hours in the saddle. Austin AJ Jones of the USA took the win in the lightweight division, while in the mighty trucks, overall victory went to Janus Van Kastren of the Netherlands. For Audi, it was a hard luck story. The desert had taken its toll. Punctures, broken suspension, and a few hard landings meant just one of the team's 3 cars made it to the finish. But finishing is a feat in itself. And so, when the desert dust had settled, we caught up with Audi driver Matthias Ekstrom at the bivouac to see how he's feeling after 2 weeks in the hot seat.
Matthias, not really the race that you wanted, but what are your main takeaways from this last couple of weeks?
I would say the first week we had no luck. We had at least good pace. We were fast in the prologue. Then we had some issues, and when we came to the rest day, it was pretty devastating, disappointing in one way. Then starting the second week, we were like, okay, let's see if we can find some rhythm. And then since then, we actually had top 4 times all the way. So it feels a lot better now than it did before we started the second week.
Well, of course, you need the car, the technology, you need the driver, which you got, but you can't buy the luck.
No, it's also such a long race. A race like this in any other category is a whole championship. But we do a full championship in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like you have every day a new race, and if you do one day bad, you carry it with you for the rest of the 2 weeks.
Especially if that happens early on.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you prefer, the rain and the mud or the hot sun and the sand?
I must be honest and say, I think mud is just horrible.
Yeah.
I would go for the sun and dust.
What's the first thing you're going to do when you get home? Sleep?
No, I'm not so tired.
Really?
Haven't been drinking coffee for 2 weeks, and I'm not a coffee lunatic, but it's just to drink whatever I want and take a coffee and a long, nice
Glass of wine as well?
No, not necessarily. Maybe just a sauna and just chill. Sofa.
Well, you certainly
Sofa.
deserve it.
Yeah.
It's a shame you didn't go your way, but you'll be back next year.
We'll come back stronger. Don't you worry.
Good stuff. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
So there you have it. Dakar 2023 wasn't quite Audi's year, but they're already planning for next year, and I have no question they'll be back bigger and stronger, and they're looking not just for first place, they want to get a full podium. Good luck to that. I'll watch their progress with great interest.
With Dakar done for another year, it was time for the race we'd all really been waiting for. Lovecars versus Audi in Saudi.